Mark Harmon returns as Gibbs for all of NCIS Origins. Season 3. For years, fans wondered whether there would ever be a way to see Mark Harmon fully step back into the boots of Leroy Jethro Gibbs without disrupting the timeline of the original NCIS. The answer, as it turns out, wasn't a return to the flagship series, it was a complete commitment to NCIS Origins. After an acclaimed second season that explored Gibbs's earliest days at NIS, Season 3 opens with the biggest surprise in franchise history. Rather than appearing only as the familiar narrator, Mark Harmon becomes an on-screen presence throughout the entire season, portraying an older Gibbs whose reflections frame every major case and every difficult decision his younger self must make. The announcement immediately electrifies the fan community. For longtime viewers, it feels like the perfect bridge between the classic NCIS era and the franchise's newest chapter. Instead of relying on nostalgia alone, Season 3 uses Harmon to deepen the emotional journey of a young agent, still learning what it truly means to carry the weight of justice. The premiere wastes no time making that vision clear. As the episode begins, viewers once again find Gibbs in Alaska. The peaceful landscape is familiar, but something has changed. Retirement has not erased the memories that shaped him. Every sunrise reminds him of the partners he lost, the mistakes he made, and the lessons that defined his career. Instead of offering a brief voiceover, Gibbs appears on screen for an extended opening sequence. He repairs an old wooden boat while speaking directly to the audience about memory. "People think memories fade," he quietly says. "The truth is, they get louder." Those words transition seamlessly into 1992, where the younger Gibbs faces one of the most difficult investigations of his early career. The case seems routine at first, a murdered Navy intelligence officer found in an abandoned warehouse. Yet almost immediately, inconsistencies emerge, evidence disappears, witnesses contradict one another. Even senior officials seem eager to close the investigation before the truth can surface. For young Gibbs, the case becomes more than another assignment. It becomes a test. His instincts tell him someone inside the system is manipulating the investigation, but proving it will require challenging people with far more experience and authority. Season 3 leans heavily into the idea that greatness is not something Gibbs is born with. Instead, every episode reveals another lesson that slowly shapes the legendary investigator fans came to know over 19 seasons of NCIS. Whenever young Gibbs reaches a crossroads, the story returns to older Gibbs. These sequences are not flash-forwards filled with action. They are quiet, reflective moments in which Harmon delivers some of the strongest performances of his career. He doesn't tell viewers what happened. He tells them what it meant. That distinction changes everything. Rather than simply narrating events, older Gibbs questions his own choices. He admits that some victories came at enormous personal cost. He acknowledges regrets he never voiced during the original series. One particularly emotional scene shows him opening a weathered box containing photographs from his earliest years at NIS. Each picture triggers another chapter of the season. One features Mike Franks laughing after closing a difficult case. Another captures the entire office celebrating a rare victory. A third shows Gibbs standing awkwardly beside agents who have long since disappeared from history. Their stories finally receive the attention they deserve. Season 3 expands the supporting cast dramatically, giving every member of the young team meaningful arcs instead of treating them as background characters. Friendships deepen, trust is earned, rivalries grow more complicated. Most importantly, viewers witness the gradual formation of the leadership style that later defines Gibbs. He isn't yet the man with unwavering confidence. He second-guesses himself. He loses sleep. He occasionally lets anger cloud his judgment. Those flaws make every success more satisfying. Midway through the premiere, the investigation takes a shocking turn when classified Navy files vanish from evidence storage. Suspicion immediately falls on someone inside NIS. The revelation divides the office. Veteran investigators argue for protecting the agency's reputation. Gibbs argues that justice matters more than appearances. His determination earns respect from some colleagues while creating powerful enemies among others. Meanwhile, older Gibbs reflects on the burden of integrity. "There comes a day," he says, "when doing the right thing costs more than doing the easy thing. That's the day you learn who you really are." The line instantly becomes one of the season's defining themes. Season 3 also explores Gibbs's personal life with greater honesty. His struggle to balance work and family becomes increasingly difficult. Friends encourage him to step away from dangerous assignments. He refuses. Not because he enjoys danger, because he cannot ignore injustice. That obsession slowly transforms from admirable dedication into the emotional armor fans recognize decades later. Mark Harmon's expanded role allows the series to connect these emotional threads in ways previous seasons could only hint at. Every episode begins and ends with the older Gibbs, creating a conversation between past and present. Sometimes he praises his younger self. Other times he quietly admits he wishes he had chosen differently. Those moments give the season remarkable emotional depth. The cinematography reflects that evolution. The Alaska scenes are bright, peaceful, and filled with natural light. The 1992 sequences are darker, filled with heavy shadows and muted colors that mirror the uncertainty surrounding young Gibbs's future. The contrast reminds viewers that peace is something Gibbs earns, not something he ever expects. As news of Harmon's full season return spreads, excitement reaches a level rarely seen within the franchise. Fans celebrate not only because one of television's most beloved characters is back, but because his return serves a meaningful purpose. Rather than rewriting history, NCIS Origins enriches it, showing that every legend begins with doubt, sacrifice, and difficult choices. By the end of the premiere, Gibbs finally uncovers the truth behind the murdered officer. The conspiracy reaches far beyond a single crime, exposing corruption within the intelligence community itself. Solving the case earns him respect from his peers, but it also places a target on his back. As the closing scene returns to Alaska, older Gibbs stares across the water in silence. After several moments, he smiles, not because the memories are easy, but because they remind him that every painful lesson helped shape the investigator he eventually became. "People remember the victories," he says softly. "I remember the people." The screen fades to black. For fans old and new, it is the beginning of a bold new chapter, one where Mark Harmon isn't simply revisiting an iconic role. He is using it to tell the most personal Gibbs story ever imagined.